quick update on Ghent. If a lot of you watch a lot of these videos, and the last one I talked about how there is just trash everywhere in Ghent. Not only is there trash everywhere, because there is so much trash everywhere, I have never ever seen so many wasps in my life. It's hell on earth. I basically am in hell. So yesterday I hired a bike and went out on the bike. Anytime I got off the bike, like just surrounded by wasps. I had 4 wasps actually land on me yesterday, and somehow didn't get stung once. So today I've gone for a run this morning, been to the supermarket, bought a load of food, and I'm just hiding in the hotel all day. I leave tomorrow morning to go to Antwerp, so yeah, get me the fuck out of Ghent, please. Anyways, I digress as usual. Today we are talking about Tottenham, and Tottenham have had a big summer, haven't they? Fair play. I have to say, fair play. Paratici and Conte have been backed this summer, which is obviously what you need to do to keep Conte sweet. Otherwise, it all goes to pot, doesn't it? So let's get into it then. Goalkeeper, Lloris had a pretty good season, and obviously he'll be Spurs' number 1 again this season coming. Fraser Forster has been brought in as his backup with Galini. Galini's loan ending, and he's actually now gone to Fiorentina on loan from Atalanta. I think that's a good bit of business, actually, bringing Fraser Forster in as backup. I think it'll be really good for the dressing room. Yeah, seasoned pro, be happy to be back up. Good business, good business. I do wonder with Lloris now, with his age, are we going to start to see that decline? I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see that this season. And Spurs fans, let me know your thoughts on that, please. Do we think this season is the season we see that, or has he got another really good one in him? But yeah, right wing back. Last year, for me, Emerson Royale and Matt Doherty, they both played well under Conte. So it was, for me, very surprising that Jed Spence was brought in, and from Conte's comments in the press conference, he said this was a club signing. I wonder whether he's trying to sort of have a bit of a dig there to say, I didn't want him, I was happy with what I've got. Be really interesting to understand that. Because of this, there's a lot of rumours about Emerson Royale now leaving already to go to Atletico. And this is the one area where I think Spurs have got it wrong this summer for me. I think out of Emerson Royale, Matt Doherty and Jed Spence, I think that Emerson Royale's the best out of the 3. And I think Jed Spence is probably the worst out of the 3. So they've brought in somebody that's worse than their other 2, and they're about to let their best go. Spurs fans, let me know your thoughts on that one, please. But yeah, I don't understand it. I don't. Centre back. Spurs have obviously understandably triggered the option to sign Christian Romero on a permanent deal. Actually, I'm not sure whether that was an obligation already or whether it was an option. Either way, good business. He'll be really, really good again. I think he was, I think other than the injuries, he probably was their best centre back last year. I know that Eric Dyer got a lot of praise and was very good. Probably a toss up between those 2, but I think Christian Romero was really, really good. They've obviously got Dyer, who, as I said, was really good. Ben Davies, who I think was really solid, to be honest. And they've also got Davinson Sanchez as well, who, all of them played pretty well. Clement Longley has been brought in on loan from Barca. As a left footer, he will obviously compete with Davies for the left-sided position. I would have thought that, Longley's career's been in free fall, so I would assume that Longley's going to be second choice to Ben Davies in there. I think when they looked at the back 3, Bastoni, who's left-footed, and Josko Vardiol. And I think that Bastoni clearly wants to stay at Inter. Inter didn't want to sell him. They were looking at moving Skriniar on instead, with Bastoni being Italian and young, again understandable. Josko Vardiol, they're wanting stupid money. That's why we haven't seen him leave Leipzig. So I think they just thought, let's move on to other areas then, and we'll stick with Ben Davies. And instead, they've brought him back up for Davies for this season. I think that's pragmatic. I think that's sensible. If you can't get your top targets or you've been outpriced, move on. I would have loved to have seen Man United do that with Frenkie de Jong this year, to be honest. So yeah, and now they've got 5 centre-backs alongside, obviously, they've got 7 actually, in Japhet Tanganga and Joe Rodon. I would expect to see one of, if not both of Tanganga and Rodon move on. Rodon's been linked to Fulham, Tanganga's been linked to AC Milan, probably on loan. And Cameron Carter-Vickers has already been sold to Celtic. But I think the primary 3, we will see the primary 3 from last season, who actually built up a bit of steam and got there. And I think that stability will serve Spurs well in Davies, Dyer, and Christian Romero. Left wing back, so Spurs have moved very quickly to bring in Ivan Perisic, who, despite his age at 33, is a fantastic athlete, and he's been used in this role in Conte's system at Inter. That will be an upgrade on Reguilon, who didn't really hit the heights of the previous season, and it looks like Reguilon's probably going to be moved on. To either, it looks like Barca might be in for him. Surely not, with all their spending, but certainly Sevilla as well. And now that Koundé has gone to Barca, I think that Reguilon deal could happen now to Sevilla now that they can afford him. Ryan Sessegnon is another who actually impressed under Conte, I think, and he'll be Perisic's backup. So I think that's an upgrade. So on the right side, I think they've gone down a notch. On the left side, they've gone up a notch. So swings and roundabouts. Centre mid then, so they've got Oliver Skipp, Harry Winks, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Yves Bissouma now, Tanguy Ndombele, Lo Celso, Pape, Matar Sarr, and Rodrigo Bentancur, which is obviously way too many options for 2 positions. Bentancur was outstanding when he came in January, and I think he'll have to be first choice. Højbjerg also had a very good season, but Bissouma is a very good player, and I have the impression that Bissouma will take Højbjerg's place in the starting 11, with Højbjerg being the primary rotation option. And look, he'll get plenty of game time. They've got Champions League, but those are the 3 with I would think Bissouma and Bentancur being top 2. Højbjerg getting a lot of game time, but number 3 choice. And then probably Oliver Skipp as 4th choice. Winks for me is not good enough for Spurs' ambitions. Everton are rumoured to be interested in him. That is absolutely not the kind of player that Everton need. But I think Lampard's clueless and Everton are clueless, so they might go and get him, to be fair. But either way, Winks needs to be moved on. Villarreal are reportedly interested in making Lo Celso's loan move permanent. That'd be good for everybody to just move him on. I think as well that Pape, Matar Sarr, is expected to be loaned out again. Again, there's rumours that AC Milan might be interested. Obviously, Spurs would love to also get a considerable fee for Tanguy Ndombele. Whether they can or not remains to be seen, because who will pay it? Another loan deal seems more likely. I expect to see a lot of activity in outgoings in Spurs' midfielders towards the end of the window. We may even see last day deals out of desperation. On the left then, obviously Son was outstanding and will be number 1. Spurs have sold Bergwijn to Ajax and got decent enough money for him as well, which is good. Spurs have brought in Richarlison for 50 mil, which I think shows their ambitions, really highly, because I actually don't think he'll get in the starting 11. I know to a lot of people that might be shocking with the money. Obviously, he will get a lot of game time, but for me, has to be Son, Kane, and Kulusevski. Kulusevski was unbelievable, and obviously he's not getting it over Kane and Son. So, I mean, if Richarlison gets in over Kulusevski will be very hard done by there. And also, to get in, he'd have to play on the right, which is not really his position, even though he can play there. So I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think he's going to be primary backup really for Kane and Son. So he'll play either on the left or a striker. But again, they need this kind of squad depth with Champions League football. So, good on them for me for doing business that ambitious. Obviously on the right they've got Kulusevski, as I mentioned, outstanding. They've also got Lucas Moura as backup, who did quite well. So I think keeping him, that's good business for a Champions League squad. Up top they've got Kane, as mentioned, and now Richarlison. I do think 5 players for 3 positions. They have been linked a lot with bringing in an out understudy on the left. I would look to, and they're rumoured with Anthony Gordon. I think that'd be really good business for him. He'll be happy to be on the bench at Spurs. So that's the only business I would probably go and do now for Spurs, is go and get Anthony Gordon if they can. That would give us a new starting 11 for Spurs of Lloris in net, right wing back probably Doherty, centre backs Romero, Dyer and Davies, left wing back Perisic, centre mid Bissouma and Bentancur, right wing Kulusevski, left wing Son, striker Kane. And I think with this team / squad, I think Spurs have got a chance of really cementing top 4 now and probably challenging Chelsea for 3rd. I don't see them challenging Liverpool and City yet, because those two are just miles ahead of everyone. But I could definitely see them pipping Chelsea to 3rd. That would be progress. I could see them, getting out of their group in the Champions League, and maybe even having a deep-ish run in the Champions League, which would be fantastic for them. And also challenging for, if not winning, a domestic cup, which would be a great season for Spurs. I really do see good things happening for Spurs this season under Conte. So, let me know your thoughts in